Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, social media world? It's your boy Sincere, J Red, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Y'all already know. Welcome to the page. Like and subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, I appreciate you. Thank you. You could be doing anything with your time right now, and you sitting here locked in, focusing, listening to what I gotta say. How's everybody doing today? I really appreciate you guys, man. I don't get too many views, and it's okay. When I'm talking about something ratchet, I get more views than normal. But on a consistent basis, I probably average about 25, 30 views at about, 188 subscribers? Something light. It's growing. Slow motion is better than no motion. I'm grateful for that. Of course, I would like to reach more people, but like I said, what I gotta say sometimes don't apply to anyone. So what I do like to say is if it don't apply, let it fly. But and if it don't, just share it. Send it to somebody. You never know what somebody's going through. Somebody could be benefiting off of this message. You don't know what people's going through. People's not always gonna tell you the deep down secret thoughts that go through their mind. And we all know thoughts, feelings fluctuate. They come and go. They're not always real. They're not always accurate. Your feelings are just what they are, your feelings. It's up to you to pick and choose which ones you want to really let either hinder you or help you get to the next level. Which one is serving you to be the best version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, the choice is yours. You know what I'm saying? You either go left or you could go right. But hey, whoa. You see that? I didn't even want to edit that. That was crazy. I gotta be more careful, man. I almost bust my ass just now. But anyway, we ain't gonna stop the show. The show must go on. Nothing is perfect. A failure is just a temporary failure unless you commit it into your mind and make that a reality. Then it's a failure. Other than that, try again. But today I want to talk about getting into some relationship material because I feel like that's kind of my specialty. I kind of been veering off and talking about self-awareness, awareness, conscious awareness, because to me, that's the first, you need that when you enter in a relationship, or even if you're in a relationship, you should constantly be building your mind to keep getting better and better at self-awareness, because at the end of the day, that's all you really have control over. I can't control what my significant other is doing, or what I want them to do, or how I want them to respond, or how I want them to act, or how I want them to react. I can only see how I'm receiving when they do these things, or when they're not doing these things. How does it affect me? How does it affect my mood and my feelings and my thoughts? And pick and choose, like I said, what's best for my peace of mind and my sanity. It's very, very important when you're dealing with the opposite sex. Or if to each his own, if you a type of person who's dealing with the same sex, this material is for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I can't understand because I can't relate to something I don't understand, meaning same sex relationships, but still, relationship is still a relationship regardless of what. It's you and somebody else. It's a two player game when it comes to relationships. And you have to understand, when you're in a relationship, it's not all about you. It's not all about what you want to do, how you want to do it, and what's important to you. Because my happiness might not be that person's happiness. And that person's happiness might not be my happiness. But we have to come together to kind of add to each other's happiness. And we should be trying to make the person a better version of themselves, just like I expect. Well, yeah, I guess you could say expect, because if I'm not expecting you to help me be the better version of myself, what are you really here for? What do I really need you for? This just for intercourse. I don't have to be in a relationship to get intercourse. You don't have to be in a relationship to get intercourse. Nowadays, a lot of people don't even want to be in relationships, or maybe they are in relationships and going outside the relationships for whatever reason, just to get or have intercourse with somebody else. So that's important, but that doesn't make the relationship. What makes a relationship is compromise and understanding. You guys got to be in alignment with certain things. And depending on your age and that person's age and how they grew up, their background, their race, their culture, the environment, and if they're working on themselves or if they have self awareness or not, all that plays in the part. That all comes together. So a lot of people are not readers. A lot of people do not seek information to help them be better, to become self aware, to see where they fall short instead of looking at where your partner's falling short. That's why I always kind of promote the whole self awareness thing, because change starts with you. You might be the issue. You've been doing what you've been doing up until however old you are to this present moment. That doesn't make it right. That just means that's what you've been doing. If you don't know no better, you don't know no better. You can only do what you know until you learn something different. That's why you have to become self aware and constantly self evaluate yourself and what you bring to the table. You're hindered because you could be self sabotaging yourself and a relationship. So it's not just all about you, because this person that you're courting, I'm pretty sure you're not their first relationship. They've probably been in many relationships before you, depending on their age, your age. It's very rare you're gonna find some virgin unless you're a teenager right now listening to this. And that in this world and day, I'm pretty sure they're not even virgins. So like this world is just kind of different from when I was a teenager. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother video. But you need to constantly keep building yourself to see if you're going or doing something wrong in the relationship. And this person needs to be doing the same thing. If that person is not doing that and you're doing that, it's an unequal battlefield, because you might be more aware in certain logical areas and this person is not. So they might constantly think every time you're trying to bring something up, it might look like an argument. It might look like you nitpicking or want to push buttons or start arguments. And if you're a self aware person, that's not what you want to do at all. You're just expressing your standards, your boundaries, what you feel fits for you and what works for you. And this is why, again, self awareness comes into to hand and is important, because you have to see if what you're asking for is it really logical and secure situations. Because if you're an insecure person, you might have insecure problems and reasons for why you complaining or expressing your feelings. Like I said in the beginning of the video, all feelings are not facts. So you have to understand that. But again, you need to be in alignment with your significant other. So when you're courting somebody and you first meet somebody, please vet them. Don't just go off their physical looks and their attributes and what look good on paper, how much money they make, and yada yada yada. Because I promise you, or how good the sex is, if y'all decide to do that right away. Because some people, intercourse comes before the relationships. You might just start off, I meet you, you meet me, we exchange numbers, we go on some dates, we end up, things happen, the chemistry is good, the vibes is good, and things happen. Now we have an intercourse, but we never really talked about where I see you in my future. Because I might not see you from what you showed me so far. I might not even see you in the future. You might just feel good for right now. The intimacy, the intercourse might just feel good, and it might just stay where it is. So now, when you do, if I don't bring it up, and when you do decide to bring it up and say, hey, we've been doing this for a couple weeks, a month or two, I'm really feeling you. Um, I want us to be one on one. I don't want you dating nobody else. I don't want you seeing anybody else. I want to kind of be your girl or I want to be your man. You got to see if that person's in alignment with you because just because you feel that way don't means I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Especially for a man, sometimes we already, and women too, we kind of, as people, we know what we want, and sex, money, all that is great. If it's good and great, that's perfect. But that's not what's going to keep a relationship from lasting. That's not going to make us go through the long haul for you the last stop on the train for me, and I'm the last stop on the train for you. It takes more than that. This is why you constantly together find somebody who's open minded. Because, like I said, if you're not working on you, you're going off a certain program that you kind of been going off of that is you think is you. You kind of relate to it like it's your identity. And it's your identity for now, but we could constantly keep upping it, changing it, leveling up, progressing. We should not want to stay the same. We should be grateful with ourselves, but not satisfied. We should always be trying to be the best versions of ourselves, constantly trying to get better and better and better in all aspects of our life. But human beings, when they're not working on themselves, what they do try to get better is what they, let me slow down. My mouth is a little dry. But what they do try to get better at is the external things, like their physical attributes, how much money they're making, the car they're driving, the house they live in, how much money's in their bank account. People constantly want to work on these external things, thinking that that's going to make them happy. And yes, these little things add to your happiness, but at the end of the day, life fluctuates. It's always going to be an up and down situation. You have to know how to be grateful and praise the ups. And when we have the downs, we have to accept them, receive it, and then let it go and know that's going to change and try not to personalize it. Definitely easier said than done. Trust me, I still battle this. I know it might sound real easy the way I'm saying it, but it's not as easy as how it's flowing off my lips. That's why you constantly have to keep that on the forefront and at the back of your mind to try to master you and try to master that your thoughts are not real, your feelings are not facts, and things is always subject to change. So back to relationships. Vet the people that you're courting, social media world, because what you're seeing in the beginning, it's the honeymoon stage. Everybody's putting their best foot forward. Everybody's trying to be the best God's gift man to woman and woman vice versa. We're all, especially if we're feeling the other person, we're trying to lock it in and, we want what we want. But like I said, physical attributes, me making you laugh, you making me laugh, intercourse being good, intimacy being good, that's not enough, social media world. And that's okay, but we're all different. This is why you have to become self-aware, especially in a relationship, because you've been living on this planet, that person's been living on this planet, and y'all might not be in alignment mentally. What you feel is important, that person might not feel as important. What you feel, what it takes to have a good relationship, that person might not be used to that. Maybe they had bad relationships, but to them, that's all they kind of know. Like I said, you're not their first relationship, and you're not their first relationship. So you're coming with stuff that you kind of took and rejected from your last relationship. This person is doing the same thing. They're doing the exact same thing. And to them, if they had consistent relationships that they set the boundaries and standards, then either their last partner kind of adapted or whatever. Only that person knows, and you know how your situation is. So, where was I going with this? But basically, you have to understand that we're completely different. And for us to succeed in this relationship, we have to put our pride and ego to the side because pride and ego ruins everything. You have to understand what's important to this person when they come to you and they express their feelings, even if you don't understand, even if it doesn't make sense to you, you have to give that person the floor, let them speak, listen to understand, not listen to respond. And then after they say that, I hear you, I understand where you're coming from. And then you say your piece and say what you want to say. And hopefully, the somebody expressing themselves is not a form or engagement for an argument. They're just telling you what they feel, their likes and their dislikes, what could be improved or what you could stop doing because it's kind of hindering them. When somebody's expressing themselves to you, they're giving you the benefit of the doubt that they're letting you in to their deeper inner thoughts. And that means they want to go the long haul with you, or they wouldn't be telling you. They would just keep letting you do what you've been doing, let you keep failing until they feel like, you know what, I had enough. This person's not getting it. They're not meeting my standards. Their morals is totally different from me. And I can't see myself with this person for the long haul. So when somebody's expressing themselves, even if it doesn't make sense to you, listen to understand. Know they're only coming from how they've been, what they feel is important, and kind of try to meet in the middle and you express yourself and how you feel on the matter at hand and what they said. And hopefully you guys are on the same mind frame, the same energy that y'all can kind of meet in the middle and say, okay, I'm not used to doing that. I didn't do that in my last relationship. But you know what? I see great qualities in you. And you're not really asking for much. You just have certain things that the last person didn't really care about. They didn't care about what I did this or what I didn't do this. But you do. You can't treat every single relationship the same. Everybody is different. Everybody's coming from a whole walk of life. So you have to treat all relationships brand new, like a new thing, like a new car. You're the first person driving the car. You guys got to try to be in alignment and try to reach that certain goal to know, okay, do I see myself with this person in the long run? Do they have good qualities? And if they do, what they're asking for me, what they're expressing for me, is it really much for me to stop doing that or start doing that to add to this person's happiness? Because they're not asking for much. And if they are asking for much, you know your capabilities and what you're willing to do and not do. And if you feel like they're asking too much, then you need to just depart because it's not going to work. Because clearly, the fact that they're expressing their message of such importance means it's very, very important to them. So you have to be real with yourself and you have to be real with them. But a relationship is a two-way street, social media world, a two-way street. I see a lot of people get into relationships and it don't work out because of pride and ego, because they're so complacent on how they used to deal in relationships. And this person is probably totally different. This person is probably a blessing in your life. And it's just a little tweak that you have to do to kind of help them feel secure or help them feel however they feeling for the reason why they're expressing themselves. They're expressing themselves for a reason. They're not just talking just to talk. And if you feel like they're talking just to talk, like I said, you need to depart. You're wasting your time. That means you guys are not in alignment. If you feel what the person is expressing is constantly making no sense and it doesn't make sense to you and you can't see yourself doing or stop doing what this person is asking, then you need to depart and stop wasting your time. Do speak your piece and tell them why you feel about what they're saying doesn't work for you or why you can't start doing that or stop doing that. Because maybe they have insecure feelings. Maybe the things they're asking for is kind of crazy, psychotic, and deranged. But if you're a leveled person, if you're a self aware person, you will know that. And if you know yourself, you'll know what you're willing to do and not willing to do. But let's stop being complacent. Let's stop treating every single relationship like it's the same just because your last relationship, this person didn't do this or they did do this, because this person might be way, way better. Something we always got to kind of tweak. When you come to an agreement to be in a relationship, You have to understand the main goal is compromising and understanding. And if what they ask you to compromise and understand, you're not you're not jacking what they're saying, then you need to depart because that's important to them, and it's less likely going to change unless when you give your feedback, they understand where you're coming from. Then you have, then it's a 50-50. But let's start vetting the people that we're courting, that we want to be in relationships with. If it's just going to be an intimacy, intercourse thing, then it is what it is. You reject this message that I'm saying. But if you want to be in a long lasting relationship, you have to understand what that person's saying, their feelings is not always going to make sense to you. But if they're hitting certain levels in certain areas and you love these areas and you feel like, yo, I love this person, or I could get to love this person, that I like 80% of them, and it's this little 20% that I'm not really feeling, then try to tweak yourself a little bit. Only if they're not asking you for much and it's not, you're not demoralizing yourself and subjecting yourself to lower yourself down. Because, like I said, it's all about growth, it's all about leveling up. I know I was kind of all over the place, stumbling, fumbling my words, but I'm not perfect. I'm still an amateur to this. But sometimes listen to the message, not the messenger. Sincere, J Red, Flatbush, Brooklyn. Y'all already know. Yo.